practices, David at dmeltzer.com. Marcus Brown is in the house.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Welcome.
How are you? How are you?
I'm amazing. And anytime I can talk to someone at a frequency that you are vibrating at, understanding you're a metaphysician. I've studied quantum healing for years, and I'm a theta meditator. Love studying quantum physics, metaphysics, physics itself. You are a spiritual life coach, and I consider myself one as well, and a tremendous author. Metaphysical Marc with the C.com is where people can reach you at. You are a ferocious Buddha, my friend, Marcus. and there's very few of us around. I'm trying to build a children's series, Total Animation, the guy that did, what's his name? Shoot, I'm forgetting the big J.K. Rowling's.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So their animated series, the same animators doing the Ferocious Buddha. But there is a reconciliation to be a spiritual teacher with grit. And,
yes, definitely.
I'd love to talk about, using the spiritual powers on the pragmatic world, because it takes grit and persistence and consistency. And you've written a great guide to do that. What are some of the hints of reconciliation to be a spiritual leader with grit?
I would just say, honestly, being able to look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and know that your intentions and what you're putting out is in alignment with how you truly are. So like I don't mind, getting in the tough spots with people through it, because I know ultimately my intentions is love. I know that, coming from a sports background, that if my coaches wasn't hard on me sometimes, I wouldn't have known my potential to be able to know that I can go past that. So sometimes it takes those spiritual leaders, those spiritual pioneers with that grit to come and shake up how we feel about our level of comfortability and our evolution as humans.
And it's so true, and then we have to understand that if we're always at peace, there's no perturbation of that peace, we're not going to grow. And Harry Potter was, unbelievably enough, the animators from Harry Potter are the ones that are animating the Ferocious Buddha. So thank you, Colleen. But there are some basic life hacks. You just mentioned one of those, perturbation, where we got to shake it up and push people to our potential. But when we push, the less resistance we have. And my main paradigm shift occurred when I created the faith, the spiritual faith, that there's something bigger than me that loves me more than I love my own children or my mom loves me. Once I get settled into that, and I do spend minutes and moments outside of that realm, and I always know it because I'm at dis-ease when I'm outside of that realm. But all the ancient teachings, from the Kabbalah, from the Bhagavad Gita, Veda, all the things that I read always extend out to this idea that there is some sort of faith that we have to have. What faith do you have in your spirituality that allows you to have these spiritual life hacks in order to effectuate a better journey in the embodiment that you've been given?
Really, a lot of those same old ancient teachings allow me to gain that release. Because we have so much, we try to control so much, that when you realize that you can only control so much, that it allows for everything else to okay, well, that's going to happen how it's supposed to happen. I have to have faith that I'm aware enough or in alignment enough to be aware of what my part is in it and what my role is in it and what I can actually control out of it. So that faith in knowing that it is something that is more than me, grander than me and greater than me, that is moving all the things that I personally can't go move myself, then it allows that, okay, I'm going to leave that to that, and I'm going to control the things that I've been invested with. So, my decisions, my emotions, how I feel, and how I carry myself. So has been a huge life hack for me, in the sense of releasing the control and expectations.
Yeah, it's so interesting that people, they get confused or counterintuitive about the three laws that we're discussing today. One, you mentioned real early on, which is the law of gravity. We have to love ourselves. We have to realize we're exactly where we're supposed to be. We're at the right place at the perfect time. We don't have to create void shortages and obstacles. We don't have to worry about what other people think, what we're missing, what we don't want. We don't have to worry about that because we are exactly where we're supposed to be. And that takes faith.
Yeah.
The second one is the grit part, right? The law of Goya, getting off your ass, living to your potential, doing everything that you can. And that's where it gets counterintuitive. It's like, okay, well, if I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, then am I supposed to be motivated and inspired to be more? Yeah, because the universe grows, accelerates, and learns. And, you know, that's the journey to know where you're at so you can grow instead of growing in the wrong direction or accelerating in the wrong direction. And then integrated is the law of assumption or the law of allowance that says, not only am I exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I'm doing, saying, thinking, believing everything I'm supposed to do, say, think, and believe, but I actually have intuition that I'm connected to and through, that I'm feeling it as well. I have confidence, I have inspiration. And to me, that's the pragmatic indicator that we are clearing the interference of self-control. We're clearing the interference of our own resistance in order to effectuate the potential of what we're connected to and through. In those three stages, the law of gravity, the law of Goya, and the law of attraction or assumption or allowance, whatever you want to define it as, where do you think people get caught in this counterintuitive nature where they say, you know what, I'm just going to sit at home, high on my mom's couch, sick and broke, and dream about a Ferrari? Or the other guy, I'm going to ruin my entire life trying to get a Ferrari because I'll spend no time on my health or my family. And when I finally get the Ferrari, I have nobody to share it with, and I'm sick, and I only have one wish. I can't even use the Ferrari. You know, where do we get this counterbalance? How do we help people reconcile that?
Personally, I think that allowing people to get aware of their intuition and really strengthening this tool that we all have. You know, we all have saying that, you know, women have sharp intuition, but we all really do have the same type of gift, and that is the ability to intuitive what's going on. The level depends on how much, you know, practice that we actually do with that. So allowing people to really understand their emotions, understand how they feel, and understand the inner voice that is always there, that is guiding, connecting with that will allow them to know when to move and when not to move, when it's time for action and when it's time for rest. Like in nature, we have seasons for reasons, you know, and I stress that so much when I'm talking to people, because us as humans, we don't go by the seasons, which is counterintuitive to what our, you know, beings are, which is we need rest when it's time to rest, and we don't give us that time to do that. And in that time, you're integrating so much of what happened in the fall and the spring and the summer seasons. So then in that next year, you're going at it with a different, you know, take, with a different understanding and a different awareness and growth. So I feel like strengthening the intuitive senses and getting us back into that connection with our intuition and our guide, then we'll know, you know, when to move and when not.
It's so important that you said that, because as much as we have this ferocious side of being Buddhas, there's still the Buddha side of being at peace. And it drives me nuts that people literally, majority of people on earth go to bed every night and wake up more tired than when they went to sleep. And the only purpose of sleep is to recover and to access. And most people deny the recovery that they've been afforded and the access that they've been allowed. And if I can get people to understand the importance of, you know, in a lifetime, on average, you have 26 years of sleep, and nobody's using those 26 years
at
right?
all.
At all, right? The average human being lives to 78 years old in America. They get 26 years of sleep, and
That's
nobody's
ridiculous.
taking advantage of the recovery and the access that you're allowed by the natural course, the season of the day of getting out of your own way. You know, everyone's like, oh, I got to get out of my own way. I'm like, Well, use your sleep to start feeling getting out of your own way. Wake up at a higher vibration than when you go to bed, instead of waking up at a lower vibration because you've done alcohol, caffeine, you have negative energy, negative thoughts, you're worrying, you're anxious, frustrated, or angry, which is not the state of peace that allows you to recover and access.
It's complete opposite.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, Marcus, we got other shows, we got other things to do together. Please, everybody, check out the incredible Marcus Brown. Make sure you check out his book, A Guidelines to Grace, 22 spiritual-based life hacks. He's a ferocious Buddha like me. I could use him as my characterization at metaphysical_Marc with a C, metaphysicalmarc.com. Reach out to him. These are the type of people you want to surround yourself with, the right people and the right ideas. And you got it, my friend. Please come back and join me.
Oh, definitely, brother. I appreciate you for having me on. And like I said, I love you, and always thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Vice versa. Take care. The incredible right, Marcus Brown, great guy. He gets it. And that's why he's where he's at. Everybody needs to be at peace. Allow everything, the abundant more than